Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the IWC Radio Live. Joining me tonight, as per usual, Chucks and Will. Hope you're having a great evening, you guys, wherever you are out there listening in. How's it going?
Oh, pretty good.
Well, this is a high energy start to the show. This is great. This is exactly the kind of show that I feel like having this week after this week of wrestling. Exactly how I feel about it.
Should I not be as, should I just be like, okay, hey everybody, welcome to another...
That sounds more or less like it was.
Yeah.
It's pretty much how you did it.
That's not how, I always try to have like some enthusiasm here. What are you talking about?
Oh, it seemed like less than usual this week. I mean, I can't blame you. But it was quite...
Well, let's redo it. Let's
relax. Relax.
Re-rack the intro. Let's do it again. From the top. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry.
No apology necessary. I get it. It was one of them weeks.
Maybe it's because I know, like, this Monday it's just going to be like a taped show because it's in the UK. So maybe my enthusiasm's a little bit down in the dumps here.
These are the best shows, though. These are better than any other shows. They come from the greatest country in the world.
Well, it's not in Liverpool, because that place sounds like a disease, according to Vince.
Well, you're right.
A lot of some minor stuff happened this week in the world of wrestling and WWE. Mainly the wild card rule, which we're going to get into in just a little bit here, and some other stuff that we'll talk about along the way.
I feel like when you say that, we should have that little sound effect they have on the Firefly Funhouse when Bray walks in. Yay!
Yeah, like we're supposed to like actually enjoy it. Honestly, the Firefly Funhouse is the only thing that's keeping me going. Really, that's like making me look forward to Raw.
Yeah.
Why was there like a
2 weeks in a row? It's been the highest number of views on YouTube out of any other clip.
Really?
Are they putting stuff up on YouTube? Because I heard they stopped to try and keep ratings.
There was, yeah. They're basically delaying them. They used to do it pretty much straight away.
Yeah.
But I don't really get why they delay them, because surely it's the same thing. I'm guessing they don't repeat Raw in the US.
No, they don't.
No.
Well, I guess, yeah, and even if they did, it probably wouldn't count towards the actual rating.
Right. And another thing is, this week they started doing something with the on the social medias where if there's like a clip from the show or whatever, I don't remember, it was something at the beginning, I remember, like when Vince was making the announcement of the wildcard rule, they highlighted it, and in the lower left-hand corner of the video, they said, tune in right now on Raw. As opposed to, instead of like, WWE Network, blah, 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 blah. Let me see if I can pull it up here for an example. But yeah, I thought that was interesting. It seems like they're, like, quietly panicking about the ratings, I feel.
I don't know how quiet it is. We got Vince back on TV. That's what they always do when their ratings drop. And he's trying to shake things up and get some stars on both shows.
Yeah. Apparently USA are unhappy as well. They've apparently made inclinations to them that they're not happy the way it's going. So when they start getting involved, they're going to start making changes.
Well, Big Dave has been saying that it's actually been a fairly big deal in the TV industry. That a lot of people are talking that, maybe wrestling ain't it, Chief.
Mm-hmm. I bet your Fox are quite worried at the minute. I wonder what they pay for.
They can't be happy. Oh. How much it's gone down since they agreed to that deal.
Yeah.
25% over the last year.
Exactly, yeah.
It's crazy.
Anyway, here's a still. See, like, this is from like one of the first videos that was published on Monday night. It was like, tune in live to Raw.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, that was something new. I don't think delaying an upload would help. I feel.
Not with the ratings. No, I mean,
No.
they tend to do quite well actually off the YouTube clips. They do seem to have a lot of views. Probably more than what's actually watching the show.
Yeah.
So they do tend to do quite well of people sharing things and what have you. So I don't see what delaying's going to do much about that. Especially the ratings aren't going to improve off that. So I don't know what the thinking is there.
I guess it's an okay theory that if people can't watch the stuff elsewhere, they have to watch it on TV. But I don't think it's going to make a big difference. The problems they're having is bigger than YouTube clips.
Mm. Oh yeah, but the thing is with that, their idea is that okay, you watch the show live, but you're watching a clip. You're not going to watch the show live till the next week, are you? So it doesn't make any difference to that particular show.
Well, it could do if you're thinking all the important stuff is going to be uploaded to YouTube almost immediately. You can just watch that. You can do anything else and then just have a look at YouTube. But yeah, you're right. If they're going to upload it straight away after the show or even the next day, you're not going to start watching if it's going to be there eventually anyway.
I mean, I know some. I mean, over here we're quite lucky. We get quite a few replays of Raw.
Yeah.
There's at least 3, I think, and you get it on demand as well.
Well, and they cut an hour out, don't they?
Yeah, they do actually.
Yeah, you get the
version.
You get the Hulu version or whatever.
Yeah, but I know someone who literally keeps up to date from YouTube. Doesn't watch shows at all. Just watches clips off YouTube.
There's more and more people just watching the network. The pay-per-views, and that's about it.
Yeah.
You can see why. There's just so much content, and once you start cutting stuff out, you stop watching Smackdown, or you stop watching all of Raw, watch a short version or whatever. It gets a lot easier just to stop watching more.
Just watch what you want. Yeah.
Just watch what you want, and then what you want becomes a lot less as well because it's just not very good. If you're not committed to watching everything, then just don't watch it anymore.
Yeah, I also did one for SmackDown Live as well, just to show that I'm not playing favorites to brands and whatnot. Tune in live. And the other thing is, if you're delaying the uploads to YouTube, I mean, somebody else is going to do it. You're going to have like somebody freebooting the show or some sort of like loophole that gets around YouTube's automated blocking system or whatever on like some sock puppet account or whatever.
Yeah. See that stuff there, what you just put on the clip there that you have from Twitter.
Yeah.
That would kind of work, I think, because you've got obviously it's happening there and then.
Yeah.
So people are retweeting that and they're saying, "Oh, it's on live now." I'll switch over. But the actual clips on YouTube, I just don't get why they're thinking. I don't see what they're thinking then.
Yeah. I just don't understand why. Just make the content better. That's the problem.
Yeah.
WWE's just tiptoeing around the issue and doing everything, but actually making the content better.
Why don't we just add another hour?
No.
Add another hour to SmackDown.
No.
That'll get ratings up. We'll get more money for that.
That's not. No.
Why don't we do like more Roman Reigns?
No.
Because if you're not watching him on Raw, maybe you want him on SmackDown.
No.
Yeah.
How about we share a lot of the talent? We don't just end the brand split, but we just share a lot more.
No.
So that there's less room on the shows.
No.
For the lower card, for different. No.
No, I'm the authority. Damn it.
Well, yeah, okay. So I'll promise changes. Is that okay? If I say it, that's got to mean something.
No.
How about if I call up loads of NXT talent and then just don't use them?
Yeah.
No.
I'm just taking them off of NXT.
No.
So isn't that good that the NXT now doesn't have half of its roster?
No.
No. Well, I've tried everything. These fans, you can't do anything to satisfy them. They're going to bitch about anything I do.
Okay, well.
I don't know what more I can do for you, Smoot.
I have a
You're
suggestion.
determined.
I have a suggestion.
I'm surprised you didn't pitch me like a main event that involved Baron Corbin. In which case, no.
My name's
Australia,
Mr.
well,
My name's My name's Mr. Internet, and I think you should do some quality matches.
Unheard
quality
of.
matches.
Unheard of.
Fine, I'm going to watch AEW.
Okay.
And that's the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm immediately haunted by that Triple H promo like years ago, where he was like taking the piss out of the fans because they didn't get what they want or whatever. And I would I want somebody to recap that and just be like apply it to this like current day and time and just see how wrong WWE was back then. Because you can't like. There comes a point where you're going to insult the fans to where they're going to go somewhere else. Either like a different channel completely, tuning out of wrestling completely, or if AEW gets started up, there you go. And you can't tell me they're like afraid of AEW when they kind of are. They're pulling talent from what was it? Kurt Angle and The Undertaker were pulled from some sort of like fan event and whatnot because they were afraid of like I don't know what they were afraid of, but they were just afraid, I guess. But yeah, it's just there's other examples you can make. I'm kind of fed up, like I just want Raw and SmackDown to be better. And if not, I'm going to get my wrestling fix somewhere in the fall. Somewhere else, that is. If you ask me.
Yeah, that sounds fair. Been watching this WWE thing for nearly 20 years now, and I've never been this close to just giving up on it.
Same.
I still don't think I will, because I just not like that. I kind of, when I start, I have to finish. WWE has to just give up before I do, which I guess means I'm part of the problem. But still, God, it's a real struggle. There's nothing on there that I enjoy now.
No, I mean,
I don't want to be that guy just complaining about every segment like Vince Russo does. But
Yeah, I know what you mean. I mean, I probably like yourself. I don't watch it live most of the time. I end up recording it, and then it's a bit different. When kind of you always get a rough idea of what's happened if you don't know entirely. But there's just not that interest of getting the recording up and playing it anymore. I mean, I don't know. Last time I watched Smackdown in full must have been probably before it went live. Because I'm just not interested in and there's always something else to do on a Tuesday night. So,
the ad breaks for me that just kill me. For a long time, I watched it live with the US stream. Watching it the next day with all the ads cut out, it's maybe 2 hours, sometimes even less if you skip a lot of like the video recaps and stuff.
Yeah.
Am I really going to sit for an hour just going through the same 3 ads over and over? No, don't like it.
Like
have you ever watched
Popeye's Progressive and like some other one,
That's it. Yeah.
Have you ever caught the Smackdown replay on Sky? I think they show it on like a Thursday, something 10 o'clock.
No, is it on Sky One or Sky Sports?
Sky Sports. It's really weird because I'm guessing
I only have Sky Sports through someone's account. Someone's account who may or may not be me. It's not the easiest to get to, and I can't record it.
It's strange because obviously it's on for 2 hours, like SmackDown is, but because they cut out the ads and we don't get as many ads as do, it leaves it with about 20 minutes spare, and they end up showing a match from Raw.
Okay.
It's weird how it works out. You're watching SmackDown, and then right in the middle, they call it a Raw exclusive.
It's a misunderstanding again what exclusive means. They used to do like From the Vault, the like old match somewhere, or just some other little promo segments they'd throw in of Cena doing a rap that wasn't on the main show.
That wasn't as bad because it was kind of cool seeing the old stuff.
Yeah, that was great.
But now you're just seeing stuff, especially if you watched Raw the night before, you're just seeing something you saw 24 hours ago. And it wasn't that good the first time you saw it. So, yeah, they've got to do, as you say, with this Fox deal coming off, they've got to do something soon. Because we were joking, but they must be seriously wondering what they've paid for.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know it's looking a long way now, and I thought this 3 years ago, but their next deal, like, yes, they've got a ton of money this time. Like, it's insane how much money they've got this time. But if they can't change things like drastically in the next 3 years, what's their next deal going to be?
Yeah.
Are they going to end up on like Pop TV or?
Well, actually, there's a rumor going around that the UK rights are up next year, and they're discussing them now. And I read somewhere on the forum, I'm not sure how true this is, so don't take my word for it, but apparently they're not going very well with Sky.
Yeah, I'm sure there was something last time they re-signed that it wasn't a great situation.
The Sky initially weren't happy with the WWE wanted more money. Obviously.
That was the network thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then they ended up pulling NXT off Sky.
Right.
The rumor is now that Sky are quite willing to pull out altogether.
Yeah.
And we might even see Raw and SmackDown end up on the network for the UK.
That's insane.
There's nowhere else for them to go, really. No one else will be interested. Or no one else is offering the money that Sky were offering. So it would be pretty strange for them. I mean, maybe it might be a good thing for the money going directly to them, but you gotta wonder what Sky were paying for. That's going to be a big chunk out of what they were getting. So
they're not going to get any new fans.
No, exactly.
That way. And if AEW is on ITV, then they will get new fans. They will get all of the fans.
Well, yeah. I mean, I know the Champions League is a sore point for you, Chuck. But
you just wait. You just wait. Tomorrow I'll be fine with it.
But I mean, a serious point. If you look at what I mean, I know you won't understand, but it went. Champions League was on free TV here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it ended up going behind on a pay TV channel for the whole tournament.
It sucks. This is like a fairly major football. Across Europe, so it's like I don't know what you can liken it to. All of the US sports are like very US. So I can't really say it's like the World Series, but it's a big deal.
Pretty big deal. And before this deal, I think there was one, maybe two matches available on free TV, and eventually the final will be as well.
Yeah.
Under this new deal, nothing's on free TV, and the ratings have gone drastically down.
Yeah.
And it's been moved to BT Sport, which is just generally crap. It's got the Champions League and nothing else that anyone really wants, as far as I can tell.
The odd UFC event, but yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, if you take something that's free and then all of a sudden put it behind a paywall, people are just going to be either, depending on the price, either wanting to pay for it or just completely turned off by it, you know?
Well, that's it. Yeah. That's pretty much what's happened to the Champions League. It gets nowhere near the amount of viewers it did. Even if Liverpool are beating Barcelona 4-0. No comment, no.
No comment from me. No.
Oh. I was waiting for one from Chuck, really. But...
Viva Barcelona, I guess.
Viva Barcelona, yes. Hell yeah. That's an old school reference there from.
I don't know how we're gonna get through the rest of the show with no football without addressing the situation.
I think we've got to.
What Barcelona?
Well,
in Rocket League,
kinda. I guess Will should probably run you through the basic situation as it stands.
Well,
I'd be happier.
Basically, my team Liverpool got to the semi-final of the Champions League. The biggest, well, I suppose it is the biggest club tournament in the world. And we had a game against Barcelona. It was 2 legs. And the first game we got beat 3-0. So second leg, no one gave us a chance at all, and we won 4-0. So we won 4-3 essentially. Yeah. So everyone's happy apart from Chuck's.
So my team at the moment, so the English league as it stands has us at the top. Then the next 2 are in the Champions League final. So they're, in theory, the 2 best teams in Europe, which makes no sense, of course, but that's football. And then the next 2 are in the Europa League final, which is kind of the Champions League's little brother. So the other 4, second to 5th, are in the finals of very prestigious tournaments, arguably prestigious tournaments. And my team's at the top of the league, about to win it tomorrow. So it's good for English football, but quite frustrating for me as a Man City fan. That we're beating all 4 of you guys, and yet you guys are playing for these big trophies, and we're not.
It seems like something's wrong with the tournament system.
I should point out at the stage that you haven't won the league yet.
No, we haven't. But I've got to at least feign confidence in our chances.
It's I mean, to be fair, I do think you are going to win. I can't see Brighton pulling off an upset. But yeah, you're right. It is, in terms of the way it's worked out, it is a bit weird. Someone suggested, I heard someone on the radio, the Champions League should literally be for champions.
Well, yeah, I've always thought that to a degree. I don't know if it would really work, but if it was just for cup winners, so you could give it to we got the three cups here. I don't know if it's the same in Spain, if they got 2, 3, and it would be a smaller thing, or maybe you just add like loads of jabroni teams from like Serbia and whatever. It could be fun.
But the league, we should explain, isn't over yet. Remember that.
I do remember that. It's been on my mind for months now.
Basically, we go into my team and Chuck's team play different teams tomorrow, but there's a point in it. And there's a point in it, so either of us could feasibly win. But right now, Man City, Chuck's team are slightly ahead.
But if we don't win, we probably won't win it. So.
I said today, I think if we get an early goal and the news will get through to you, I think you're going to be nervy.
I think we're going to be nervy anyway. Like the last couple of games we've had have been really... We've had to wait a long time to get breakthroughs.
Well, you wouldn't have won.
Most of the
you wouldn't have beat Leicester if it wasn't for that company goal.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And they could easily have tied it up or beaten us with Iheanacho's chance and Maddison's chance too. There was that nearly goal line clearance that Aguero scored in the Burnley game too. So we're not looking dominant at all. Anyway, let's move on from this. We'll argue about this tomorrow.
We have to. It's better than talking about wrestling at the moment.
Yeah.
Kind of
I
is.
just want to give Smoot a chance to talk.
Yeah, true.
I mean, you know, it's
Sorry.
whatever. It's whatever at this point, you know.
It really is.
I'm just watching. I'm just taking a look at Twitter and perusing some stuff and whatnot. Oh, you guys are discussing the football over there.
Maybe we should, in these slow news weeks, we should have a football podcast.
Oh God.
You can take the week off with me, Chuck. Could just talk.
Be our producer. Be fine.
Not a problem. I could just contribute here and there. Like, you know, maybe a. There we go.
Hey, here we go. I can't do it. I've only got a bottle of water.
Yeah, this is like my last one. Here, I have to go to the store next week and pick up some more. Yeah. The wild card rule. Getting back into WWE for that.
Rule.
I kind of caught midway through the beginning segment of Raw, but I heard Vince, you know, I'm caught up with the wild card rule, pal. He didn't say it like that, but you know.
It was pretty much like that.
Pretty much did, yeah.
Yeah. It seemed like something he just made up on the fly.
Goddamn,
pal, I'm a genius.
Yeah, his character. That was actually very good.
That was really good.
Thank you.
His character is now that he actually is out of touch and he doesn't know what he's doing.
Is that the thing that they go on? Do you think? I mean, it seems what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels that way. That things are happening and he's just pretending that he meant for it to happen.
Yeah.
Which, like, okay, I guess, but you're the chairman of the company. It's. I don't know. That doesn't seem like a good character for this guy, who is legitimately 70 whatever, 74, 70. What is he? 72, 74?
74.
And there are questions about this. he's playing the character as if like, this is what people think of me anyway. I don't know. There may be some truth to it.
Yeah. I don't know. Kind of like playing a character that the internet's criticizing you to be doesn't seem like the smartest move to make, you know? Again, as we've documented that, you know, AEW is like you know, close to a TV deal. Apparently the latest word on that is that Warner Media is going to have it up front, and they're probably going to announce that it's going to be on like some sort of block schedule for TNT over here, which is the same channel that Nitro debuted on.
Yeah, the TNT.
Yeah, it's crazy how history repeats itself here, it seems. So if that goes through, and if, you know, WWE, maybe that's their strategy, is that they're intentionally souring on the product so that they, you know, somehow TNT doesn't get the deal done in time for AEW to debut. They defeat them, you know? They defeat the T-shirt brand.
T-shirt brand.
Yeah. Because that's what everybody says. Everybody's afraid of like a T-shirt company or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Everyone's afraid of the other multi-millionaire who seems to want to throw lots of money at wrestling.
Tony Khan
is fair, because Mr. TNT was the last guy to do that, and he was very successful with it.
Yeah. Does Ted Turner still own Turner? The Turner Networks, like TNT and all that? I think he does, right?
I guess.
Yeah.
I think he's something. Yeah, if he's not fully owned, he got something to do with it. Yeah.
Yeah, so Roman Reigns said that he was going to come back to Raw. The company told him not to. He showed up anyway. And Vince, because he can't make decisions for himself anymore, just said, this is fine. This was my idea. I wanted you here. Now this is fine. 3 people can come here from SmackDown. Funnily enough, 3 people did.
It was more than 3.
Reigns.
More?
Well,
Or 5?
it was Reigns, Kofi, and not Daniel Bryan.
Yeah,
It's Daniel Bryan. Yeah, Daniel Bryan, because he didn't move. That's convenient that three people are allowed. But the rule apparently was invite only. It has to be by invite. So then Elias shows up with Shane.
Yeah.
Shane McMahon, I guess he's exempt because he owns the thing. But he had Elias with him, and that doesn't count either. Vince even said when he was on the phone to someone in his office later on that Elias doesn't count. And then Lars Sullivan walks in, and Vince is scared of him because he's a freak. We have to say that every time. He's a freak.
It's not because of that. I think it's because he's about to post like some sort of slur on online message board.
He's very sorry about that,
Yeah.
He is.
Doesn't represent who he is today.
That's true. That is true.
So now it's 4. But 4 by invite only. So when and if you break that rule, you can be fined or fired.
Yeah.
And yet when Miz showed up on SmackDown, presumably that wasn't by invite. I don't know. Maybe we'll hear about that. We haven't heard anything yet.
Like they care. It's just a way to like dilute the brand split.
But then don't put these stupid rules on it.
I agree.
They're making this up as they go along. You don't have to add rules to make it hard.
Yeah. That's why I came up with the caption like, "Goddamn pal, I run this show. 3 doesn't mean 3. Fuck you."
Yeah. Are you sure you weren't cranky?
I swear to God, it wasn't me. I wish I was as creative as whoever it was behind that account. Not even gonna lie. But seriously, like, you're right. It seems like they just made it up as they're going along. Like, hell, even Vince seems like he just came up with it for that promo on the fly. You know?
Yeah. Which I'm guessing that was scripted to be that way, to make it sound like it was on the fly, because that's the joke. But does it matter when it comes off that way and it's not good?
It's not, no. Yeah, I don't know. It just, again, you got to make the product better, and I feel like coming up with a nonsensical thing, like it's literally called the wild card rule. Like, it's not even just like calling people wild cards for the week or whatever. It's the wild card rule is in effect. Like, it's so awkward to hear it. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, it could produce some pretty good quality matches, like we saw on SmackDown with Kofi, AJ, and Sami Zayn.
Mm-hmm.
But they gotta like package it a little bit better. And the other thing about it is, if they're already kind of diluting the brand split, that was kind of like one of the unique things heading into the Fox deal, is that SmackDown was going to be treated like this really high profile place to be, as its own like brand and roster and all this other stuff. I don't know if Fox is going to be happy with talent coming in and going out as they please every week. Maybe they will. Maybe they.
Fox
maybe
probably isn't going to be happy about a lot of this.
Yeah.
No.
I don't know.
For how much they paid for it, yeah.
There.
That's.
You know what is quite funny is looking back at old WWE documentaries like, Death of WCW, and like anything that criticizes how WCW was handled going into the buyout, because they would always say it's insane, but like, if you can believe this, nitros were being written as the show was on the air. It's amazing. Like, that's happening now.
Yeah.
They have no long-term plans. They're reliant on a few top stars, and even they aren't the stars. Like, at least WCW had top stars. They were old, but at least they were actually stars. They don't have them now, but they're still stuck with their few top guys, and even more now with them on both shows. It's the same. It's the same thing. Everyone's getting big money, and it seems like no one cares, or at least isn't allowed to care about the actual, the creative, the characters and the story and the product itself. They're more focused on, despite losing all these ratings, burying the revival than putting on entertaining. What's the priority for Raw this week? It's how can we make Scott Dawson look like a Muppet? Lucy Hot in his pants.
I completely forgot about that.
Yeah.
And the Usos as well. Like, in burying the revival, you're burying the Usos. They were fun. They were actually quite cool. And now they're doing, I don't know, this is like New Day comedy. And it wasn't even good when New Day did it.
There's another one. Goddamn, pal, I'll teach you to think about AEW. As they're fucking dumping water in their trunks, like, the fuck?
And they had to be told, that just makes it worse before they react to it.
Yeah. Like, it was WWE's attempt at, like, cartoonish comedy. Only it didn't work.
But bro, who finds that funny? Bro.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Like, does anyone...
Bro, I swear to God.
I swear to God, no one is watching for this. That is actually a point you made this week. But it's true, give the devil his due. That's a good point. Who finds that funny? Who is watching for that?
Children.
I don't know that kids find it funny.
No.
But I guess kids
it's what's aimed towards them, but I don't think...
How young do you have to be as a kid to find that funny?
Yeah.
Like, maybe if you're 4 or 5.
Or let alone know what Icy Hot is. For the reference.
Speaking of, that's even better. Oh god, was it? It was Smackdown. It was Smackdown because the Usos came out when Daniel Bryan and Rowan, the big guy, were given the belts, and the Usos came out and called them SpongeBob and Patrick, Ren and Stimpy.
Oh god!
And who was the other? There was another, even worse, I think, cartoon reference.
Beavis and
like
Butthead.
Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah.
When okay, do you want to look up when these shows went off the air?
Well, Beavis and Butthead had like a recent reboot, like
a little resurgence. Yeah.
Didn't last long, unfortunately. Ren and Stimpy is like like early 90s, like 92,
right,
93.
So Beavis and Butthead was 93 to 97, and it was shortly revived at the end of 2011. So I guess that's still 22 years since that was on. Ren and Stimpy finished in December of 95.
Yeah. They had another resurgence back in like the early 2000s on Spike TV where it was a little bit more edgier, but again that didn't last long either.
Who, the Ren and Stimpy?
Yeah.
I've got nothing about that here.
Really?
Oh, revivals.
Yeah.
Adult Party cartoon. There you go. That was in 03.
Yeah. Back when Spike TV was like fresh on the scene.
Okay, but even that, the people who were supposed to find that funny weren't born then.
True.
Yeah.
Like, they were a long way off being born, in fact. 16 years ago. And that's the revival.
God.
95, 24 years ago. 23, 24. That's...
I'll tell you, it's finding it funny, and that's part of the bullet is the problem. Vince. He thinks it's hilarious.
Yeah.
Goddamn, pal, you're a genius.
We even had a "you better check yourself before you wreck yourself" reference.
Oh yeah.
Like, God. What the hell?
No.
Oh man. I wonder if when the XFL starts up, which is a long ways away at this point. I mean, we only got like another year, I guess, in 2020. If if maybe that's when he gives the keys to Triple H, but like at the same time, probably not. Like it.
Hadn't he got a guy to run the XFL? Isn't there a guy managing the most of it?
I guess.
Yeah, there was. I don't remember his name now, but yeah.
It seems like all right. Well, maybe. What if the XFL doesn't do too hot? Kind of like what they did originally in their first season. Does Vince like try to take over and like steer the ship out of murky waters again, or what? You know, like
maybe I don't know.
What would be the panic situation there? And then hypothetically,
well, they're expecting to lose a lot of money on it. They know they're going to lose a lot of money.
Really?
So he's put aside 300 or 350 million, knowing that the first. Yeah, I think the idea is 3 years.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's his own money as well, isn't it?
That's his own money that he sold his shares. So he has said, like, there's no way this is going to start off as a big deal. We just had, what was the other thing? The AFL, whatever it was, the other. So that failed, and he's basically saying there's going to be more money for me. I'm going to just make sure this at least survives for 3 seasons, and then when it's kind of established, we'll try and go from there. And he's 70. I just looked it up. He's 73, so I guess his money's not that important to him anymore. He's got enough. He's willing to just go, what the hell? Let's make this happen. Yeah, you're right. It's insane.
Who sets aside that much cash, setting something up, knowing that they're going into it that's going to fail? Like that doesn't make any sense. Like that's literally insane.
Yeah.
That you're throwing away that much money for something that's just going to be a colossal waste of everybody's. I wouldn't say a colossal waste, but like.
It's a waste of his money.
Yeah.
But only if it fails. Like if he's right. Imagine that. If he's right and it actually takes off to some degree, and 25 years from now it's actually a thing, and the NFL, through whatever reason, it's not as hot as it was. Too many people are kneeling, or people aren't allowed to celebrate touchdowns, and it's just not as fun. Or Vince's short a game idea, which is funny considering he keeps adding to his wrestling shows. His idea of keeping games to 2 hours actually takes off and people really like it, then he's just started up a major thing.
Yeah.
I don't know how likely that is, but
I mean, if he's trying to compete with NFL, I mean, it's a good move, I guess, because people have been scrutinizing the NFL for a lot of things that you just mentioned.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be a success, but if you, like I said, if you're heading into it knowing that it's probably going to fail, that's absolutely wild to me that you would actually.
I'm sure he believes it. I'm sure he believes it can work.
They got
goddamn now it is going to work.
Yeah.
They announced the TV partners this week, didn't they? And they got some pretty big names behind it.
Really?
Yeah.
You got ABC, ESPN, Fox.
Huh.
They're all going to be showing live games. I think someone worked out the schedule, and there's actually going to be a live game on the day of WrestleMania.
What?
Which, yeah.
That seems like a bad idea.
What the oh my god, why? Why would you do that? Who does that?
They're going to have advertising on the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
And the first game is going to be the week after the Super Bowl.
First game is Saturday, February 8th, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What day is WrestleMania, sorry?
For 2020? Or...
Yeah. And your pirate flag.
Oh, a pirate flag. 36 here coming up.
Is it the 4th or the 5th?
April 5th.
April 5th, yeah.
April 5th, week 9 of the XFL, 8 p.m. ET. Sorry, 6 p.m. ET. Sorry, can't read. 6 p.m. Actually, there's 2 games at 12 p.m. as well.
Jeez.
So that will be during the pre-show, I guess. That 6 p.m. game.
Also, apparently Hulk Hogan wants to face John Cena at WrestleMania 36, according to
Of course he does. Of course he does.
He wants a mega match, I guess.
What can he do?
Fuck all.
Can he hit the boot? Can he take an AA? Like,
it was secretly him behind the Lars bodybuilding forum account. Yeah, I don't know. Should we just quickly cover like Raw and SmackDown and we can get out of here? Because believe it or not, it's close to an hour. So
I think we have covered most of Raw, didn't we? It was terrible.
Yeah.
What else we could, at least we didn't have a shoelace match this week.
Yeah.
No, true. Yeah.
Why did Braun Strowman throw Sami Zayn in a dumpster?
Also, who gets the bins collected at 9:30 at night?
Yeah, and why was it making the backup noise if it was going forward?
All great questions. All these are all excellent questions. But why? My biggest concern here is why did Braun do this, knowing that being put into a dumpster like that and crushed, basically killed.
Yeah,
it happened to him.
Yeah, it happened to him, but he was resurrected by the dumpster.
But surely he would know this is too far now. Or maybe he is just that much of a monster among men.
Or it's just enough.
It's just enough. Because he was going to say something and then decided not to.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, that was the thing when they came back to wherever match was next, and Michael Cole was just laughing off the fact that Strowman was just essentially killed someone.
Yeah.
No update on it. So they brought that back from last year, whatever it was, not long ago, that Strowman himself got crushed.
Mm.
Speaking of Sami Zayn, he came out for his promo as usual. Renee Young said something about, let's hear what he's got to say this week. Seemed quite excited about it.
Yeah.
And then immediately switched to, someone needs to come out here and shut him up.
Yeah.
And you could so tell she was told to say that.
God damn it, Renee, say this.
Totally changed the tune.
Excuse me.
The hell's wrong with you,
Yeah.
Canadian?
And why was it Strowman anyway? Why does he care?
Yeah, because Luke Harper can't speak in a southern accent.
That's true.
Wasn't
true.
that like the rumored thing to be like it was supposed to be Sami Zayn and Luke Harper like feuding for some reason, but Vince kind of like soured on Luke Harper when he realized he couldn't do a southern accent allegedly, and so now it's just like Luke Harper wanted to quit, and now they're adding time to his contract since he was injured. But remember, they're not afraid of a T-shirt company.
No.
Oh no.
No, and they don't value Luke Harper enough to actually use him.
Yeah. It was wild to see him in the fucking WrestleMania Battle Royale and just being one of the guys coming out and not being hyped or anything after so much time off TV.
Yeah.
Ricochet defeated Robert Roode to defend his place in the men's Money in the Bank match.
Oh, this was stupid.
What are they doing with Robert Roode? I don't get it.
Well, they wanted to give him a push, then they realized that they had made a mistake, and they tried to put it right. Not a mistake to push him. I think that bit was right. But then putting the wrong guy into the Money in the Bank match, I guess they heard the criticism on that too, and said, well, okay, we've got to make up for this, whether it makes sense in the long term or not. So they had to go 50-50 with Robert Roode.
Oh, God. So dumb.
How far in advance do they book? It can't be more than a day. Really, can it? Like,
No.
When they had that first Robert Roode mustache match, they didn't know what they were doing the next week. They didn't know who was going to be in Money in the Bank.
Right.
Says it all, I guess.
After that, Lacey Evans and Ali Katrina had a match where...
Ali Katrina. Is that because there was an Ali in TNA and there was a Katrina in Lucha Underground? Because that name is stupid.
That is, yeah. Yeah. Just like, what was it on 205 Live? Trip Bradshaw?
Trip Bradshaw, yeah. That's a bad one. Also, Lacey Evans perfumes her invitations with peach cobbler.
God, what the hell was the point of that segment? And also,
Who does that? She got to go.
Yeah, everybody had like their first name except for Dana Brooke, which had like the calligraphy on the envelope as Dana Brooke. Like, you couldn't just put Dana? Like, come on.
No, it's she probably also sent one to Dana White.
Oh my god.
Didn't want to get mistaken.
And then we had the Viking Raiders defeating the Raw Tag Team Champions Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins, who didn't get an intro or an entrance on TV. So I think we're gearing up for a title change there.
Did you notice they now call their finisher the Viking Experience?
Yeah, because it's a stupid name. Like, I would much rather have Cole shout out, and they call that the rear view, than the Viking Experience. Like, come on. Mentioned the Firefly Funhouse where Mercy the Buzzard devoured Rambling Rabbit.
Yay!
All right, yeah. We hardly knew ye. I like that they even on their Instagram had like one of those little RIP things, Rambling Rabbit, and like 2019 to 2019 sort of thing. I can't wait for next week. I'm sure it's gonna. I'm sure it's gonna turn.
Kids looking really sad at the end.
Well, yeah, they were on Raw.
Well, yeah.
I mean, that's pretty much the status quo for Raw, I feel.
Did anyone see the he's apparently put out some secret code going back about 4 years ago?
Yeah.
To what? Husky Harris?
Apparently there's a series of promos that he did when he was obviously the original Bray Wyatt, going back 4 years ago, and he said there's a message or a line in those promos that doesn't fit in with the rest of it, which, going off Bray Wyatt's promos, none of it makes any sense.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's quite hard to differentiate.
So he said there was, I think it was like 6 weeks where there was one line that he kind of chopped up and together they make a message. So all he gave us was that it was in, was it 2014, 2015?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Reddit's been going crazy with this, looking at all of his promos, which 6 weeks it could be, and which lines, and what they've pulled up doesn't really fit together.
No. He's apparently going to reveal it tomorrow. Monday.
Oh, cool.
He did put out some clues. In fact, he's put out one every day, I think, since Monday. So clue number 1 is you got to treat it more as a poem than a statement. Clue number 2, it begins with a question answered vaguely several lines later. Number 3, he just put limbo. Don't know. He seems to have skipped number 4. I think he's numbered these wrong. Clue number 4, the lines are in order, but it's not me talking to you. It was talking to me. The message came from me subconsciously.
Weird.
So either he's really clever, which don't get me wrong, he could well be, and he's come up with a storyline that goes back 4 years ago, or this is a lot of nonsense. What do you think?
I mean, if he did set like seeds in place for some sort of yeah, well, hold on, this is great. He even posted the fucking in memory of Ramblin' Rabbit.
Just saying that now.
That's pretty good. I like that. But going back to like 2014, 2015, that's if he actually did set the seeds in place for that, that's wild. That's ridiculous.
Do you really think WWE clever enough to put a storyline in process 4 years ago?
No.
Well, he had input into those promos, didn't he?
That's true. Yeah.
More than most. So I don't know.
If it does pan out to be like some sort of like payoff with that, like from 4 or 5 years ago, where he was like planting seeds or as like clues or something, then yowie wowie.
Yowie wowie. Okay, so but you didn't know that in 2015 I did 8 consecutive backstage promos. Yeah. You want to hear a secret? It's coming. It's time for you to go home. Limbo is no place for a soul like yours, and the angel with the burned wings is waving you on home. Time's ticking. It's such a tragedy. What happened to you? Do I have your attention now? That's a punk line. Maybe we're going to get CM Punk on Monday.
CM Punk returning confirmed.
That's why they were playing his music at that NXT event.
In the UK, not even in Chicago.
Yeah.
Who else we've got? Oh God.
Apparently, someone called Art by Faluca tweeted him a guess, and he replied saying, "You are close."
Oh.
Dot. Oh no, that's just a link. Never mind. Huh. Yeah. Wow. Yowie, wow. There's the gift. That's crazy. That they're gonna try to like piece together like different fucking. What did you just link me, Chucks? What is that?
It's a picture of Bo Dallas and Bray Wyatt as kids, and I don't think that's Sister Abigail. There's also some girl. That's Bray in the pool about to throw a ball at the others.
No chainsaws though.
No chainsaws. No witches.
Yeah, that's crazy. Hold on, what is this? Oh, hold on. What is? I just clicked on a reply here randomly.
Someone genuinely sent him a tweet. Sorry, Smith.
Yeah, go ahead.
Someone generally sent Bray Wyatt a tweet saying, "When will you team with Bo Dallas? He kind of looks like you."
He does.
Yeah.
Especially now he smiles more.
The original tweet here where it says a couple of years ago Randy Orton did some pretty bad stuff to me. He destroyed my temple and crowned me as the champion of the world, caused my brother to abandon me and betrayed my trust. ... Hold on. Worst of all, he didn't say he was sorry, but I forgive you, Randy Bobanders.
Yeah.
And then Randy Orton quote replied to it and said, "You had WWE spend $2 million on photo projected bugs. What do you expect me to do? At Trailer Park Boys. Bo effing Bandy out, over and out, hashtag House of Horrors." And then Brace replied back said, "We did our best, Ran Bo Dingo Man." I swear to God, if I hear Cole actually call Randy Orton Ran Bo Dingo Man, I would lose my shit. Holy shit.
Yeah, he's great. He's great.
I just hope this, whatever the payoff is for this Firefly thing, Funhouse thing, I hope they don't ruin it.
Yeah, I hope they don't ruin it either.
They've got attention now, which I don't think they were expecting. I think they were expecting people just laugh it off or whatever. But
I mean, shareholders wanted it to be canceled. They wanted this to just be killed off.
Yeah.
When you first look at it and you think, I mean, the first one that we saw, I think everyone was thinking, "Oh shit, what's this?"
Yeah.
But you know, it's they have kind of turned it around somehow.
It's always one of those, like, it could be really cool if they get the creepiness right.
Yeah,
which they
It
have
could
been.
work really well,
They have
but I
been.
just don't trust that they would do it.
Yeah.
exactly.
And now they've brought attention to the fact that people seem to actually like it. Like when the first week they said, "What the hell was that?" Third week now they said, "The internet's really been talking about this, really been buzzing about the Firefly Funhouse." It's like, oh god, Vince is going to get into it now, and
Yeah,
he's gonna start coming up with ideas.
Did you notice when they were showing it on Raw and they do that weird thing where they cut back to the arena and everyone's watching it?
Yeah,
The whole arena was silent. It was really weird. Everyone was just watching. Everyone's attention was on the
also
Tron.
how much of that was just like a muted like mic effect, where they didn't have the crowd mic'd, you know?
Maybe. Maybe.
but usually when they do that, they show all the people just not giving a shit. They're just talking to each other. They're looking at phones or like, whatever.
They also have been showing it on SmackDown too, which is also interesting because which brand is he going to be a part of, And hopefully, go ahead.
Does it matter anymore?
Fair point. Fair fucking point. But how's it going to? How's this going to be a thing in the ring? Though is what I want to know.
Yeah.
Like, I'm glad that Bray Wyatt's doing this because it's very entertaining. I think he's pretty much, right now, the only guy that could probably pull this off, this whole shtick. Mm-hmm. I just want to know how it's going to translate into the ring and if it's going to be, like I said, you're going to have Abby the Witch come down on, like, a marionette and distract, like, opponents and whatnot, which honestly would be way better than him doing the weird upside-down crab walk maneuver. Oh man, he's really flexible. That's really scary. Goddamn, pal, is that DDP yoga?
Is he going to wrestle wearing that jumper and the shirt? Like, is he going to be Baron Corbin style where you have to wear stupid ring gear?
Sure. Why not?
Because it makes no sense.
Yeah. Why not? Yeah, I'd be okay with it as him being a wrestling Mr. Rogers or whatever.
Yeah, Pee Wee Herman.
Yeah, Pee Wee Herman. On SmackDown, speaking of, we had AJ Styles and Sami Zayn being two of the three wild cards from the wild card rule. I'm not sure who the third one was. I guess Miz, yeah, I suppose.
He wasn't invited, though.
No, he was not. He could be subjected to a termination.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, the Usos. Did you count the Usos?
Oh, no, I did not. That's 4. There you go.
So that's, yeah.
Did it count as 1?
3 invited and 4 non-invited. So therefore, it's congruent. Anyway, Orton interrupted Ali versus Andrade from out of nowhere. That's what's written here. Sorry. Then Bryan and Rowan defeated the Usos to become the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, where Shane had some sort of announcement where he was out there in regards to the tag team stuff and then had something afterwards that he was going to mention. I don't remember what it was because the Miz interrupted him.
Well, it was something about Money in the Bank.
Yeah. It was something Money in the Bank related, which is now a steel cage match between him and Miz after Miz attacked him in that one parking lot segment on Raw, which we kind of glossed over. Which I really liked how they shot that. I wasn't a fan of Charlie Caruso interrupting Shane's getaway attempt. Shane, I gotta ask you a question real quick. Also on SmackDown, there was this really cool still where Shane's mid-talking and somebody in the background has a speech bubble crowd side where he says, "Yes, I suck." I thought that was pretty clever. It was pretty funny.
I think maybe the worst thing of the week was Matt Hardy's interview.
Oh my god.
He's there.
It's him.
It's him. That's it.
I didn't see this.
Yeah.
Well, he was doing an interview about Jeff being injured and getting surgery, and
And R-Truth was behind.
R-Truth comes up.
Yeah.
So Matt was talking about Jeff Hardy having been injured by the Freak, right?
Lars Sullivan, yeah.
Yeah, supposedly. So R-Truth comes up and says, "Hey Matt, I don't know if you realize, but what's his name? Lars Sullivan is really dangerous. His hands are like bear traps." So that's a Vince line too.
Yeah.
What's his hands like? What's his head like? It's always Big Show. Hands are like a
honey baked ham.
Honey baked ham. Yeah, hands like frying pans. A frying pan.
Frying pan.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, his hands are like bear traps, and he's really dangerous. So you might want to look out. Something happens. Matt turns around. Whatever. I don't know, for some reason, and Lars Sullivan is just kind of there, behind R-Truth. So Matt says, "It's him," in like a really and that was too energetic. It's like,
it's him.
It's him. And he puts his jukes up as if he's gonna like.
Yeah, I had the gif of it. I had the gif of it playing for like a minute there as you were describing it.
Good. That.
It's him. There.
It's him.
That's this weird he's like jujitsu. That's not even jujitsu, but like some sort of weird martial arts fighting stance.
Yeah.
And he had like a full 5 seconds before Lars did anything to like really attack him. So stupid.
I'm just looking at him.
But Lars beat up both of them and put R-Truth through a table or whatever.
Yeah. The convenient place backstage table.
Yeah.
Never know.
Miz and Shane got into another wild brawl.
That's another thing I don't like, this whole Shane thing. For 20 years, he's been fearless, right? He's jumped off of cells and cages and scaffolds and everything. And he's fought, I'm sure he's definitely wrestled Kane, wrestled Kurt Angle, he's wrestled Shawn Michaels, The Rock, I think. Has he wrestled Undertaker? Probably. Like, he's wrestled some actually, legitimately scary guys. And now he's supposed to be scared of The Miz. He's running away from The Miz.
He's sending the B team out against The Miz.
Right, they're The Miz's guys.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I appreciate the consistency with that in the story, but what has the B team done in the past, I don't know, 4 months?
Ever?
Ever. Besides winning the Raw tag team titles. Yeah.
Go on a short winning streak.
But the past 4 months, they've been under the radar,
Yeah. They got beat up by Roman.
Oh, God. Yeah. And then after that, we had Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville defeat Carmella and Ember Moon, which I completely don't even remember. And then the main event, Kofi Kingston, Sami Zayn, and AJ Styles in a triple threat, where Sami Zayn hit the Blue Thunder Bomb 3 times on Kofi and kicked out of each one after a Kevin Owens attack. Where you'd think, and this is kind of weird to me, because it hinted off. I don't know if they've mentioned that they were friends. I think maybe Byron said that Sami and Kevin were friends again or something like that during this match. But if that was the case, wouldn't Kevin actually helped out a little bit more to make sure that Sami was the champ?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they never clarified if someone had beaten Kofi, would Kevin Owens get a shot against the new champion, or would he still have a match with Kofi?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
I just love how he walked off when Sami lost. It's that's it. I'm out of here. So that was pretty much Raw and SmackDown for the week. Again, this upcoming week's shows are going to be in the UK. I think in London, specifically.
Yeah. Cool that CM Punk's going to fly to the UK.
Yeah. some of the stuff on the show that they've mentioned for Raw on Monday night is Charlotte Flair as a wild card to join Lacey Evans and Becky Lynch in a double contract signing for the Money in the Bank.
I've got to tune in for that.
Yeah, that's some ratings right there. Roman Reigns.
The fun of a contract signing.
Yeah, that too.
Combined with all the fun of a contract signing.
Roman Reigns being a guest on Miz TV. The 4 Raw Women's Money in the Bank competitors in a Fatal 4-Way match. Baron Corbin and Ricochet in a match. I don't know why you would announce that. Okay. And Strowman and McIntyre in a match together as well. So, doesn't that just scream tune into the show and watch? Because it doesn't for me.
What would? Because I was trying to work this one out. Like, what could they actually offer that I would want to see at this point?
I mean, for a UK show, it would be having some sort of like simulcast as the show's taping for USA on the network. On the WWE network, so I can watch
you actually want to watch it live?
Yeah, so I can watch it live. If you're talking about the product in general,
yeah,
I don't know, honestly. Like, Roman Reigns is like a cheesy character. I mean, It sucks that he's had some sort of like major illness, but pretty much he's now a sympathetic character because you can't really boo him. Because who boos a guy?
Booed now.
That's true, he has. But how can you boo a guy with leukemia? Come on.
Well, yeah. But the cheers really died down recently,
true.
And now he has actually started getting a couple of boos here and there.
Yeah.
Because he's still that guy.
Yeah.
Like, on a personal level, it's cool that he beat the cancer, and we feel sorry for him and feel happy for him.
Yeah.
But he's still that guy, and we don't like him. So, like, how are we supposed to react to that? Nothing's changed.
Yeah, I don't know. You have Braun Strowman, who, in my opinion, should have won the championship a long time ago, but now he's kind of lingering around either the top card status or like being this comedy character and whatnot. And now he's just like either flipping cars or putting people in dumpsters because he can and whatnot, but it has no real emphasis or meaning to it behind it, McIntyre has been built up as this like legit threat, but they haven't really made like a full commitment on his character to go for the title yet for McIntyre. Corbin has just been an absolute waste of everybody's time. I'm sure he seems like a cool dude or whatever, but like nobody cares about him. He shouldn't have been the guy that ended Kurt Angle's career. I still stand by that. That's just it doesn't make any sense to me. Everybody wanted to see John Cena in a match for a change. Like, they actually wanted to see John Cena have a match for once. And the one time that fans are actually clamoring for John Cena, WWE doesn't give it to him. After all the years of bullshit Cena matches where he just bullshit wins.
Yeah.
You have one laid out and they don't pull the trigger on it. It doesn't make any sense to me why you would put Corbin in that spot and then pay off, other than like some Raw angle that nobody cared about either. So yeah, I don't know what the heck they're going to do to help like make the product better, but like you can't have the same matches and then hope that people are gonna react differently to it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see where it goes from here, I guess. That's pretty much my take.
They really don't have a lot at the moment. Do you remember a few years back there was one segment right at the end? There was an in-ring something, and everything like broke down. It was crazy. There was a huge group of people in the ring.
Yeah.
And I think someone accidentally bumped Steph, and Triple H got pissed and hit, was it Punk or someone? And then Shawn got involved, and then someone bumped Shawn, or like it. and everything kind of broke down. I think there was an RKO in there, and it was really cool. I'll have to dig this up because it was at the end of a show, a kind of cliffhanger where a lot of established kind of relationships were involved, and new potential rivalries were kind of brewing, and everything made sense. And then it was just dropped. I thought, man, that was a great way to end a Raw.
I think I remember that.
Yeah. Thinking of what you mean.
I'd like some more of those.
I want them to recognize that we're the authority.
Yeah.
Exactly, Jagger. Thank you for your input. You're welcome. Yeah, I do remember that.
Championship
that was
Ascension ceremony. There you go.
Oh,
I just found it. I was going to say about it. Yeah.
They did nothing after that.
He had all the old champions in the ring as well, didn't he?
That's right. Yeah, it was.
That was the one where Punk was making goofy faces behind Triple H that everybody kept riffing about. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's Mark Henry in his salmon blazer.
Yeah.
The great Kelly's there. That's just quite funny.
Yeah, he's a champion.
I know. Just that fact alone is quite funny.
Yeah, he was a champion back then. Believe it or not.
Yeah, I remember that one now.
It was a great segment, and it was building up a Cena-Orton match, which I couldn't care less about.
Yeah.
Jack Swagger.
Didn't he have a fight in Bellator this week?
Yeah, he did.
Pretty sure, yeah.
It was against some guy that was a goofball.
Did he win or lose? Or?
I hope he won. I hope Swagger won.
Jack Swagger, Bellator.
Going back to your original question of what can you do to make the product better? Apparently, Kevin Owens did an interview with Tucson.com to Scott Fishman, who's a big WWE guy. He said, "quote I think it's a good idea. I think a good idea would be to implement things that have ended up on YouTube. The digital team is so great; they're unsung heroes. These guys create incredible pieces on people and characters. They put them on YouTube, and they are so good. Same thing with the network, like with the WWE 24 and 365 or Chronicle. I feel like we should implement those concepts and put them on TV because they would make for great television and complement our TV shows well." So, sure. I mean, if you can make a serious deal out of something that takes place online like that on YouTube and whatnot. Not like these WWE exclusive things where it's the Iconics were making fun of Bayley and now they have a match with her, something like that. None of that. It has to be something well produced and well developed and whatnot, kind of like what AEW is doing. I feel with their little mini series to the road of Double or Nothing, if you will. Something along that caliber.
Yeah.
What?
It's in the longer hemisphere.
Sorry. Ignore me. Somehow my TV just switched on its own. Oh, that's weird.
Did you watch The Ring last week?
Yeah.
Huh?
You got 7 days.
That was strange.
That was strange.
Yeah.
The Bellator event actually hasn't happened yet. It's happening now.
Oh, okay.
I think it might have just started, and there's not his matches later on. So he's neither won or lost.
Well, we'll soon figure that out, I guess, at the end of this broadcast. But anything else you guys want to add before we get out of here?
I think we're good. Yeah.
All right. Well, next week it will be our Money in the Bank prediction show, which is our first one of the new prediction season. 2019-2020 prediction game. So we're all at even ground. Hopefully Beans will join us. We'll see if his strategy will work to, not show up and then see if he can get an early lead. Otherwise, he's got Jack. I'm telling you, Jack is feeding him information.
Definitely.
Yeah, he knows.
Yeah.
Jack Swagger is actually the heavy favorite in his match.
Is he really?
Yeah, because the other guy's a goofball.
How'd you know?
There was
TJ
like,
Jones.
yeah, there was like a press conference where they did like a photo op, and Swagger took it seriously, and the other guy was just like, "Oh, I have swag" or whatever, you know, like.
Fair enough.
Jack and his Swagger.
I kind of want to find it here before we get out of here. And that was the other thing. Like the other dude was kind of like just fat, like a butterbean type of fat.
Okay, it's on the UK from 2 a.m. on Sky Sports Action.
Okay.
What's that?
Yeah, the other guy it seemed like a complete goofball.
Someone pointed out to me, just a random fact, someone pointed out to me the other day, do you not think Ricochet would be a great name for an Irish wrestler?
Yeah. That was always going around before he signed. What are they going to change his name to?
Oh, really?
Maybe Ricochet.
It's an old one. Okay.
Anyway, have a great weekend, everybody, and happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day tomorrow.
Not over here. We had it.
Not here. No.
All right, then.
Still
Well, have a great weekend, and we'll see you guys next week. Take care. Good night, everybody.